Last month, a client brought in a golden retriever named Bailey for what she thought was aggression. Bailey wouldn't come when called. He'd flinch when she reached for his collar. He'd hide when she grabbed the leash. He used to be so happy, she told me, crying. Now he acts like he's afraid of me, and I don't know what I did wrong. Here's the thing. Bailey wasn't aggressive. He'd lost trust. And after talking with his owner for 20 minutes, I found 6 specific things she was doing completely unintentionally that were destroying their relationship. 6 mistakes that, to her, seemed harmless. But to Bailey's brain, each one was a betrayal. Hi, I'm Dr. Jack, and I'm a veterinarian. I've worked with thousands of dogs over the years, and I can tell you this: trust is everything. It's the foundation of your entire relationship with your dog. And the heartbreaking part? Most owners don't realize they're breaking that trust until the damage is already done. They're not bad owners. They love their dogs, but they're making mistakes that, from a dog's perspective, feel like lies. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 6 most common trust-destroying mistakes I see in my clinic. We're going to start with number 6, the one that seems smallest but chips away at trust every single day, and build all the way to number 1, the mistake that can shatter your dog's trust completely. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop making these mistakes and start rebuilding the trust your dog deserves. Because your dog can't tell you when you've broken their trust. They can only show you through their behavior. And by then, you've already lost something precious. Mistake number 6, making promises your dog thinks you're breaking. This one sounds abstract, but it's happening in your house right now. You say, "Let's go for a walk," and your dog gets excited. Then you spend 10 minutes looking for your keys, checking your phone, putting on different shoes. To you, you're just getting ready. To your dog, you lied. Here's what's happening in their brain. Dogs live in the present moment. When you say walk, their brain floods with dopamine. That's the anticipation chemical. They're ready right now. Every minute you delay, that dopamine crashes. It's not just disappointment, it's confusion. You said something that translated to exciting thing happening now, and then nothing happened. I see this pattern all the time. Owners who say, "Okay, dinner time," and then prep the food for 5 minutes while their dog sits there, saliva production going into overdrive, stress hormones building. Owners who say, "Let's play," and then get distracted by a text message. Each time, your dog learns that your words don't match reality. Think of it like this: trust is a bank account. Every time you make a promise and follow through immediately, you make a deposit. Every time there's a delay between your words and your actions, you make a withdrawal. Most owners are running a deficit and don't even know it. What to do instead? Only use those trigger words: walk, play, dinner, treat, when you're actually ready to deliver in the next 30 seconds. If you need 10 minutes to get ready for a walk, stay quiet until you're putting on your shoes. Then say, "Let's go." Your dog doesn't need a 10-minute warning. They need accuracy. Mistake number 5, inconsistent rules that make you unpredictable. Monday, your dog can sit on the couch. Tuesday, you yell at them for it. Why? Because Monday you were in a good mood, and Tuesday you were wearing nice pants. Makes perfect sense to you. To your dog, you've become dangerously unpredictable. Dogs don't understand context the way we do. They can't process, "It's okay to jump on me when I'm in my workout clothes, but not when I'm dressed for work." They only understand allowed or not allowed. And when that changes based on factors they can't identify, your mood, your outfit, who's visiting, their world becomes unstable. I had a German Shepherd in last year with severe anxiety. The owner couldn't understand it. Turns out the rules changed constantly. Sometimes the dog could be on furniture, sometimes not. Sometimes begging got rewarded with table scraps. Sometimes it got him scolded. The dog was living in constant stress, never knowing if his normal behavior would get him praise or punishment. When rules are inconsistent, dogs stop trusting that they can predict outcomes. And when they can't predict outcomes, they can't feel safe. They can't trust you to be stable. Over time, this creates a dog who's either anxiously trying to read your every mood, exhausting for both of you, or who's given up trying to please you altogether. What to do instead? Pick your rules and stick to them, regardless of your mood, your clothes, or your convenience. If your dog isn't allowed on the bed, that means never. Not just when I'm tired or when they're muddy. Dogs thrive on consistency. It's how they understand their world and their place in it. Mistake number 4, using their name as a punishment. Max, no! Bad dog! Sound familiar? You're accidentally teaching your dog that their name predicts something bad. And every time you do it, you're damaging their trust that coming when called is safe. Here's the thing. Your dog's name should be the most positive sound in their world. It should mean, good things are about to happen. Pay attention to me. But when you use it while you're angry, when you use it to call them over for nail trims they hate, when you use it followed by punishment, you're poisoning the one word that should always mean safety. I can't tell you how many dogs I see who won't come when called. And when I dig into the history, it's almost always the same pattern. The owner calls the dog's name to scold them. They call the dog's name to crate them when guests arrive. They call the dog's name and then immediately do something the dog hates. The dog has learned, my name means something bad is coming. Better keep my distance. This destroys recall, which is literally a life-saving command. But it also destroys something deeper. Your dog starts associating you, the source of their name, with unpredictability and threat. They stop seeing you as their safe person. What to do instead? Your dog's name should only ever predict good things or neutral things. If you need to interrupt bad behavior, use a different sound, or leave it, or even just a hand clap. Save their name for when you're calling them to you for something positive. And when you do call them, even if they were just doing something wrong, the second they come to you, they get praised. Coming to you has to be safe. Always. So just a quick one before we get to the 3 biggest trust destroyers. I see messages and comments from dog owners all the time who've watched several videos and didn't realize that they weren't actually subscribed. So could you do me a quick favor and just double check that you are? It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this to help you and your dog build a stronger, healthier relationship. And if you are subscribed, then thank you. You're not just watching, you're part of our mission to help dogs live their best lives with owners they can truly trust. Mistake number 3, forcing affection or interaction. This one breaks my heart because it usually comes from love. You want to hug your dog. You want to hold them. You want them to cuddle with you on your schedule. So you pull them into your lap. You grab them for a hug. You hold them when they're clearly trying to leave. And every single time, you're teaching them that they don't have autonomy with you, that their signals don't matter, that you can't be trusted to respect their boundaries. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'm the owner. I should be able to touch my own dog. And yes, medical care sometimes requires restraint, but forced affection is different. It's taking away your dog's choice for your emotional comfort, not their well-being. And dogs understand the difference. Watch what happens when you force interaction. Most dogs show stress signals. They turn their head away, they lick their lips, they go stiff, they try to back up. They're communicating clearly. I'm not comfortable with this right now. When you ignore those signals and force it anyway, you're teaching them that communication doesn't work, that their no doesn't mean anything to you. I treated a Cocker Spaniel last year who would snap at his owner's face. She couldn't understand it. She just wanted to give him love. Turns out, she'd grabbed him for forced cuddles since he was a puppy. She'd ignored every stress signal he gave. Eventually, he escalated to the only language she seemed to understand: teeth. Not because he was aggressive, because she'd taught him that polite communication was pointless. Dogs who can't trust you to respect their boundaries become either shut down, they freeze and tolerate it, building resentment and stress, or they become defensive. Neither builds the relationship you actually want. What to do instead? Let your dog choose to interact with you. Invite them to your lap instead of grabbing them. If they walk away during petting, let them go. Pay attention to their body language. Are they leaning into your touch or pulling away? Dogs who trust that you'll respect their no are far more likely to offer you a genuine yes. And that willing affection, it's worth so much more than forced compliance. Mistake number 2, being unpredictable with your emotions. Your dog doesn't understand that you're stressed about work. They don't know you're tired, or that you got bad news, or that you're in pain. All they know is sometimes you're safe and sometimes you're scary. Sometimes you react calmly to them knocking over the water bowl. Sometimes you explode. Sometimes you're patient during training. Sometimes you're frustrated and short. From a dog's perspective, you've become unstable. And unstable is the opposite of trustworthy. Here's what happens neurologically. Dogs are constantly reading your emotional state. It's how they survived for thousands of years with us. Your facial expressions, your voice tone, your body tension, they're monitoring all of it for safety information. When your emotions are unpredictable, their stress response stays activated. They can't relax. They're always scanning for danger because they can't predict when you're going to shift from safe to scary. I see this most often in dogs with anxiety disorders. And when I take the history, there's usually an owner who's inconsistent with their emotional regulation. Monday, they calmly clean up an accident. Friday, they yell about the same thing because they've had a terrible week. The dog can't connect their behavior to your response because your response changes based on factors they can't see or understand. This is probably the hardest mistake on this list because it requires us to work on ourselves, not just our dog handling. But here's the reality. If you want your dog to trust you, you need to be their emotional safe space. That means managing your stress and frustration before you interact with them. I'm not saying you can't have bad days. I'm saying your dog shouldn't pay for them. When you're overwhelmed, take a breath before you respond to your dog's behavior. When you're stressed, recognize that your threshold for patience is lower and give yourself and your dog some grace. Maybe training can wait until tomorrow. Maybe the walk can be shorter today. What to do instead? Create a buffer between your emotions and your reactions. When your dog does something that would normally bother you, take 3 seconds before you respond. Ask yourself, am I reacting to my dog's behavior or to my own stress? Your dog deserves an owner who's as stable and predictable for them as they try to be for you. And I promise you, when you start regulating your emotional responses, you'll see your dog's anxiety drop dramatically. Mistake number 1, breaking the trust of physical safety. This is the big one, the one that can shatter trust completely and take months or years to rebuild. And it happens more than you think. Using physical punishment, intimidation, or fear. I'm talking about hitting, even light swats, kicking, even to move them out of the way, scruffing, alpha rolls, hanging on the leash, shock collars used for punishment. Any training method that uses pain or fear to stop behavior. Every single one teaches your dog the same devastating lesson. You are not safe with me. Now, let me be really clear about what's happening when you use physical punishment. You think you're teaching the dog, don't do that behavior. But here's what they actually learn. You are dangerous and unpredictable. I need to be afraid of you. And fear is the absolute opposite of trust. In my clinic, I can spot these dogs immediately. They cower when you reach for their collar. They flinch when you raise your hand, even to pet them. They show stress signals around their owner. Whale eye, lowered body posture, tucked tail. They've learned that the person who's supposed to protect them is actually the biggest threat in their environment. And here's the part that really gets me. These methods don't even work long term. Sure, you might stop the behavior in the moment through fear, but you haven't taught the dog what to do instead. You haven't addressed why they were doing the behavior. You've just taught them to be afraid of getting caught. So the behavior goes underground. They do it when you're not watching. Or it comes out in other ways, like anxiety, aggression, or complete shutdown. I had a lab mix last year who was terrified of men. The owner, a woman, couldn't figure out why. Turns out her husband had been using corrections, yanking the leash, swatting the dog's rear, for months. The dog had learned, men are dangerous. She wouldn't take treats from men, wouldn't make eye contact, would shake during the exam when I came near. That's not respect. That's trauma. What to do instead? Training should build trust, not break it. Use positive reinforcement, rewarding the behaviors you want to see more of. Use management, preventing the dog from practicing behaviors you don't want. Use redirection, teaching them what to do instead. These methods work. They're backed by decades of behavioral science, and they build a dog who trusts you, who wants to work with you, who sees you as their safe person in a confusing world. If you've used physical punishment in the past, I need you to hear this. You can stop today, right now. Your dog wants to trust you. They're biologically wired to bond with you. You haven't destroyed that completely, even if you've damaged it. But it starts with committing that you will never use fear or pain to train them again. So if you've recognized yourself in any of these mistakes, and most of us will see at least one or two, here's the good news. Trust can be rebuilt. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes you showing your dog through your actions every single day that you are safe and predictable and worth trusting. Here's where to start. Pick one mistake and focus on changing it this week. Not all 6 at once. That's overwhelming. Just one. If you've been inconsistent with rules, write down your rules and post them where everyone in your household can see them. If you've been using your dog's name as a punishment, start a new rule. Name equals good things only. Watch your dog's body language. Learn their stress signals. When they turn their head away, when they lick their lips, when they try to move away, honor those signals. Show them that communication works with you. Be consistent. Dogs don't need perfection, but they need predictability. They need to know that you'll be the same person tomorrow that you are today. And give it time. If you've been making these mistakes for months or years, trust won't rebuild overnight. But I promise you, if you commit to being trustworthy, if you commit to being consistent, emotionally stable, and physically safe, your dog will meet you halfway. They want to trust you. You just have to prove you're worth it. Conclusion: your dog loves you. Even if they've learned not to trust you completely, they still love you. That's the incredible thing about dogs: their capacity for forgiveness, their willingness to bond with us despite our mistakes. But love without trust is stressful. It's a dog who loves you but flinches when you reach for them. A dog who's excited to see you but won't come when you call. A dog who wants to be close to you but can't fully relax in your presence. You deserve better than that. Your dog deserves better than that. So start today. Look at these 6 mistakes honestly. Recognize where you've been breaking trust without meaning to. And then commit to change. Not because you're a bad owner. You're not, or you wouldn't be watching this video. But because you love your dog enough to be better for them. Every interaction is a choice. Choose to be predictable. Choose to be consistent. Choose to be emotionally stable. Choose to be physically safe. Choose to respect their boundaries and honor their signals. Your dog can't tell you in words that they trust you, but they'll show you. They'll come running when you call. They'll lean into your touch. They'll look to you when they're scared. They'll choose to be near you, not because they have to, but because you've become their safe place. That's the relationship you both deserve, and it starts with trust.